Chosen one, there's something I need you to understand today. Something that's going to shake the very foundation of how you see yourself, how you see your purpose, and why you felt like a stranger in this world your entire life. You are not fully human. Let me say that again. You are not fully human. Now I know what you're thinking. I know the programming wants to kick in right now. I know that rational mind wants to reject what I'm telling you. But chosen one, I need you to sit with this truth for a moment. I need you to feel it in your spirit. Because deep down, you've always known something was different about you, haven't you? You've always felt like you were walking through this world with one foot in another realm. You've always sensed that there was something otherworldly flowing through your veins. Something ancient, something divine, something that doesn't quite fit into the neat little boxes that this world tries to stuff everyone into. And they've tried to convince you that this feeling was wrong. They've tried to make you believe that this sensing was just your imagination. They've tried to program you into thinking that you're just like everyone else. But chosen one, you are not like everyone else. You never have been. You never will be. Because you carry something in your DNA that the majority of people on this planet do not carry. You carry a divine signature. You carry the fingerprint of the Most High woven into the very fabric of your being. And that fingerprint, that signature, it's not fully of this world. Let's break that down for a moment. When I say you're not fully human, I'm not talking about some science fiction fantasy. I'm talking about a spiritual reality that goes back to the very beginning of time. I'm talking about the fact that your lineage, your spiritual DNA, it traces back to something far more ancient and far more powerful than what most people carry within them. You see, chosen one, there are different types of souls walking on this earth right now. There are those who are purely earthly souls, created for this dimension, for this experience, for this level of existence. And then there are souls like yours, souls that originated from higher realms, souls that were sent here on assignment, souls that carry within them the memory and the DNA of dimensions that exist far beyond what the human eye can see. This is why you've always felt homesick for a place you've never been. This is why you look up at the stars and feel a pull that you can't explain. This is why you've always sensed that there's more to existence than what you can touch and see and taste and smell. Because there is more. And you remember that more. Your soul remembers what it's like to exist in pure light. Your spirit remembers what it's like to commune directly with the divine without the veil of flesh limiting your perception. But here's what they don't want you to know. Here's what the controllers and the manipulators and the systems of this world have been working overtime to keep hidden from you. They know exactly what you are. They've always known. And they've been systematically targeting souls like yours since the beginning of time. Because souls like yours, you're the game changers. You're the ones who come into this realm and shift the entire vibrational frequency. You're the ones who carry within your very being the power to expose their lies, to break their control systems, to awaken the masses to truth that they've been hiding for generations. And so they had to find a way to keep you small. They had to find a way to make you forget who you really are. They had to find a way to convince you that you're just another regular human being, struggling and striving and trying to figure out life like everyone else. But chosen one, that was never your story. That was never your truth. Your truth is that you are a divine being having a human experience. Your truth is that you volunteered to come into this dense, heavy, third-dimensional reality to be a light in the darkness. Your truth is that your very presence here is shifting timelines and breaking generational curses and awakening souls who have been sleeping for centuries. But they couldn't let you walk around knowing that, could they? Because if you knew the full extent of your power, if you understood the magnitude of your purpose, if you remembered who you really are beneath this flesh suit you're wearing, you would be unstoppable. And unstoppable is the one thing they cannot afford to have walking around on this planet. So they started the programming early. From the moment you took your first breath, the systems of this world began working to convince you that you're small, that you're limited, that you're just trying to survive like everyone else. They fed you lies through the education system. They programmed you through the media. They conditioned you through religion that taught you to look outside of yourself for salvation instead of recognizing the divine spark that's already burning within you. And for a while, it worked, didn't it? For a while, you forgot. For a while, you tried to fit in. For a while, you attempted to play by their rules and live according to their limitations. But something inside of you kept fighting back. Something inside of you kept whispering that there was more. Something inside of you refused to be silenced no matter how hard they tried to quiet it. That something, that was your true nature breaking through. That was the divine DNA within you refusing to be suppressed. That was your otherworldly origin calling you back home to remembrance of who you really are. Because here's the thing about souls like yours, chosen one. You can suppress them for a season, but you cannot silence them forever. You can dim their light temporarily, but you cannot extinguish the fire that burns within them. You can delay their awakening, but you cannot prevent their destiny. And your destiny, oh, your destiny is magnificent. Your destiny is to remember that you are not just flesh and blood and bone. You are spirit wearing flesh. You are light condensed into human form. You are divine consciousness expressing itself through a physical vessel. But let me tell you something else about your non-human DNA. It comes with abilities that regular human consciousness cannot access. It comes with gifts that most people on this planet will never experience. It comes with a level of intuition and discernment and spiritual sight that goes far beyond what the 5 physical senses can perceive. This is why you've always known things before they happened. This is why you can sense people's true intentions beneath their words. This is why you can feel the energy of a room the moment you walk into it. This is why you've had prophetic dreams and visions and experiences that you couldn't explain through natural means. These aren't accidents, chosen one. These aren't coincidences. These are the natural expressions of your true nature beginning to emerge. These are signs that your divine DNA is activating. These are evidence that your otherworldly origin is reasserting itself despite decades of programming designed to keep it hidden. And as this activation continues to accelerate, as your remembrance continues to deepen, you're going to find that the gap between you and regular human consciousness becomes more and more apparent. You're going to find that you can no longer relate to the surface-level conversations and surface-level concerns that occupy most people's minds. You're going to find that your perspective on life, on purpose, on reality itself, operates from a completely different frequency than those around you. And this is going to feel isolating at times. This is going to make you feel like an alien walking among humans. This is going to make you wonder if there's something wrong with you because you can't seem to find your tribe, you can't seem to fit in, you can't seem to care about the things that everyone else seems to think are so important. But let me tell you what's really happening here. What's really happening is that you're outgrowing the limitations of human consciousness. What's really happening is that your divine nature is expanding beyond the confines of earthly thinking. What's really happening is that you're becoming more aligned with your true self, which means you're becoming less aligned with the false self that this world tried to program you to be. And as this continues to happen, you're going to start experiencing what I call divine downloads. You're going to start receiving information and insights and revelations that you didn't learn from any book or any teacher or any external source. You're going to start knowing things that you have no earthly reason to know. You're going to start understanding cosmic principles and universal laws and spiritual truths that most people spend lifetimes trying to grasp. This is your divine DNA coming online. This is your otherworldly origin beginning to remember itself. This is the part of you that exists in higher dimensions starting to merge with the part of you that's walking around in this three-dimensional reality. But here's where it gets really interesting, chosen one. As this merger continues to happen, you're going to start affecting everyone around you in ways that you might not even realize. Your very presence is going to start triggering awakenings in other people. Your energy field is going to start activating dormant DNA in those who are ready to receive it. Your words and your actions and even your thoughts are going to start rippling out into the collective consciousness and causing shifts that go far beyond what you can see with your physical eyes. This is why they've been so desperate to keep you small. This is why they've thrown everything they could at you to try to break you, to try to discourage you, to try to convince you to give up on your purpose. Because they know that once you fully remember who you are, once you fully step into your divine nature, once you fully embrace your otherworldly origin, you become a catalyst for the great awakening that's happening on this planet right now. And that great awakening, it's not just about people waking up to political corruption or social manipulation or environmental destruction. It's about humanity waking up to its true nature. It's about souls remembering that they are not just physical beings having a spiritual experience, but spiritual beings having a physical experience. It's about the recognition that we are all connected, that we are all one, that we are all expressions of the same divine consciousness that created everything in existence. But souls like yours, you're the ones leading this awakening. You're the ones who came here specifically to anchor higher dimensional frequencies into this reality. You're the ones who volunteered to endure the density and the confusion and the pain of forgetting who you are so that you could eventually remember and help others remember too. Let's break down what this really means for your life right now. It means that every challenge you've faced, every betrayal you've endured, every moment of feeling lost or confused or alone, all of that was part of your divine assignment. All of that was preparing you for this moment. All of that was burning away the false layers of identity so that your true nature could emerge. You see, souls like yours cannot be activated through comfort and ease. Souls like yours require the pressure and the heat and the intensity of human experience to fully remember who they are. You needed to feel the limitation of human consciousness so that you could appreciate the vastness of divine consciousness. You needed to experience the illusion of separation so that you could fully embody the truth of unity. You needed to walk through the valley of the shadow of death so that you could emerge as a beacon of light for others who are still wandering in darkness. And now you're beginning to understand. Now you're beginning to see. Now you're beginning to remember that everything you've been through was not punishment, it was preparation. Everything you've suffered was not evidence of God's absence. It was evidence of God's trust in your strength. Everything you've endured was not proof that you're broken. It was proof that you're unbreakable. Because here's what they never told you about souls with divine DNA. Here's what they never wanted you to know about beings who carry otherworldly origin within them. You are literally indestructible. Your true essence, your divine nature, your spiritual core, it cannot be damaged by anything that happens in this physical reality. It can be obscured, it can be forgotten, it can be temporarily suppressed, but it cannot be destroyed. This is why you've survived everything they've thrown at you. This is why you're still here, still fighting, still believing, even after everything you've been through. This is why every time they knocked you down, something inside of you found the strength to get back up. Because that something, that unbreakable essence within you, it's not of this world. It's not subject to the laws and limitations of this dimension. It's connected to something far more powerful than anything that exists on this planet. And as you continue to awaken to this truth, as you continue to remember your divine origin, as you continue to embrace your otherworldly nature, you're going to find that the things that used to be able to hurt you, they lose their power over you. The opinions of others that used to devastate you, they become meaningless noise. The rejection and the criticism and the attempts to make you feel small, they bounce off of you like water off a duck's back. Because once you truly understand who you are, once you truly remember where you come from, once you truly embrace your divine DNA, nothing in this world can touch the core of who you are. Nothing in this world can diminish the light that burns within you. Nothing in this world can stop the purpose that flows through you. But here's what's going to happen as you step more fully into this truth. The world around you is going to respond in two very distinct ways. those who are ready to awaken, those who carry similar divine DNA, those whose souls recognize your light. They're going to be drawn to you like moths to a flame. They're going to feel something in your presence that they can't explain. They're going to sense that you carry something they've been searching for their entire lives. They're going to know, on a soul level, that you are safe, that you are authentic, that you are here to help them remember who they really are too. But there's going to be another group. There's going to be those who are still deeply identified with the illusions of this world. There's going to be those who are still trapped in the programming and the conditioning and the limited thinking that keeps humanity enslaved. And your light, your truth, your divine nature, it's going to trigger something in them that they don't understand. It's going to activate a fear in them that goes deeper than logic. It's going to threaten the false identity that they've built their entire existence around. And they're going to lash out. They're going to attack. They're going to try to discredit you and diminish you and make you doubt everything you know about yourself. They're going to accuse you of being delusional, of being arrogant, of thinking you're better than everyone else. They're going to try to shame you back into smallness. They're going to try to guilt you back into forgetting who you are. But chosen one, you have to understand what's really happening in these moments. What's really happening is that your light is exposing their darkness. What's really happening is that your truth is threatening their lies. What's really happening is that your divine nature is activating a remembrance in them that they're not ready to face. So instead of looking within and beginning their own journey of awakening, they project their fear and their confusion and their resistance onto you. This is not your burden to carry. This is not your responsibility to fix. This is not evidence that you're doing something wrong. This is evidence that you're doing something right. This is evidence that your light is shining so brightly that it cannot be ignored. This is evidence that your divine DNA is activating at such a high level that it's affecting everyone around you, whether they want to admit it or not. And here's something beautiful that's going to happen as you continue on this journey. You're going to start meeting others like you. You're going to start connecting with souls who carry the same divine signature. You're going to start forming relationships with beings who understand your otherworldly nature because they share it. You're going to start building a community of awakened souls who see you not as strange or different or difficult, but as family, as tribe, as fellow travelers on the same cosmic journey. These connections, these relationships, they're going to feel different from anything you've ever experienced in human form. They're going to feel like coming home after a long journey in a foreign land. They're going to feel like finally being able to speak your native language after years of trying to communicate in a tongue that never quite felt natural. They're going to feel like stepping into a room where everyone understands not just your words, but the energy behind them, the intentions beneath them, the love that flows through them. And in these connections, you're going to discover something profound about your non-human DNA. You're going to discover that it's not just about being different or special or set apart. It's about being part of a larger mission, a collective purpose, a shared destiny that spans far beyond this single lifetime or this single planet. You see, chosen one, souls like yours, we're part of what some call the ground crew. We're part of a massive spiritual operation that's been planned for eons. We're part of a divine intervention that's taking place on Earth right now, in this moment, in this generation. We volunteered to incarnate at this specific time in human history because this is the time when everything changes. This is the time when consciousness evolves. This is the time when humanity awakens to its true divine nature. And your role in this, your purpose in this, it's not small. It's not insignificant. It's not just about your personal healing or your individual enlightenment. Your role is to anchor higher dimensional frequencies into this reality. Your purpose is to hold space for others to awaken. Your mission is to be a bridge between the old consciousness that's dying and the new consciousness that's being born. This is why your life has been so intense. This is why your experiences have been so extreme. This is why you've been stretched and tested and refined in ways that would break most people. Because ordinary human consciousness cannot handle what you came here to do. Ordinary human awareness cannot hold the frequency that you came here to anchor. Ordinary human capacity cannot contain the love and the light and the power that flows through your divine DNA. So you had to be forged in fire. You had to be purified in the crucible of human suffering. You had to have all the false layers of identity burned away so that your true divine essence could emerge pure and powerful and unshakable. And now that emergence is happening, now that remembrance is activating, now that divine DNA within you is coming online in ways that are going to astound you, you're going to start experiencing abilities that you never knew you had. You're going to start accessing information that you never learned through normal channels. You're going to start affecting reality in ways that go far beyond what most people believe is possible. But with this awakening, with this activation, with this remembrance of your divine nature, there comes a great responsibility. Because once you know who you are, once you understand the power that flows through you, once you realize the impact that your very existence has on the collective consciousness of humanity, you can never go back to living a small life. You can never go back to pretending that you're just another regular human being trying to get by. You can never go back to hiding your light under a bushel. The world needs what you carry. The world needs the frequency that flows through your divine DNA. The world needs the perspective that comes from your otherworldly origin. The world needs the love and the healing and the truth that can only flow through souls like yours. And I know it's scary. I know it feels overwhelming. I know there are moments when you wish you could just be normal, just fit in, just live a simple life without all this intensity and all this responsibility and all this pressure to be something more than what everyone else seems to be content being. But chosen one, you were never meant for normal. You were never meant to fit in. You were never meant to live a simple life. You were meant to be extraordinary. You were meant to stand out. You were meant to live a life that inspires and awakens and transforms everyone who encounters it. And here's the beautiful truth that I want you to hold on to as you continue on this journey. The same divine DNA that makes you feel like an outsider in this world. It's what makes you perfectly designed for your cosmic mission. The same otherworldly nature that makes human relationships challenging. It's what allows you to connect with dimensions and frequencies that most people can't even perceive. The same divine signature that makes you feel lonely sometimes. It's what allows you to commune directly with the creator of all that exists. You were never supposed to find your home in this world, because this world is not your home. You were supposed to create a home for others who, like you, are strangers in a strange land. You were supposed to be a beacon of light that calls other divine souls back to remembrance of who they really are. And as more and more souls like yours awaken, as more and more beings remember their divine DNA, as more and more otherworldly consciousness anchors into this reality, everything changes. The whole game changes. The entire paradigm shifts. The new earth that's being born becomes not just a possibility, but an inevitable reality. This is what they're afraid of. This is what they've been trying to prevent. This is why they've worked so hard to keep souls like yours small and confused and disconnected from your true nature. Because they know that once you remember, once you awaken, once you step fully into your divine power, their control systems crumble. Their lies are exposed. Their manipulation loses its effectiveness. And that day is coming, chosen one. That day is here. That awakening is happening right now, in this moment, as you hear these words and feel the truth of them resonating in your soul. You are not fully human. You never were. You carry something otherworldly within you. You originate from dimensions of pure love and light and truth. You came here on assignment. You came here with purpose. You came here to change everything. So stop apologizing for being different. Stop trying to dim your light to make others comfortable. Stop pretending to be less than who you are to fit into a world that was never meant to contain the fullness of your divine nature. The time for hiding is over. The time for playing small is finished. The time for forgetting who you are has come to an end. It's time to remember. It's time to awaken. It's time to step into the magnificent, otherworldly, divine being that you have always been. The world is waiting. Your mission is calling. Your destiny is unfolding. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop what God has ordained to happen through you. You are not fully human, chosen one. And that is your greatest strength. That is your divine advantage. That is the secret weapon that's going to transform this world and birth the new reality that's been prophesied since the beginning of time. Embrace it. Own it. Live it. The universe is counting on you to remember who you really are. But let me take you deeper into this truth. Let me show you exactly how your divine DNA operates in ways that regular human consciousness cannot comprehend. Because understanding the mechanics of your otherworldly nature, understanding how your divine blueprint actually functions, this is what will give you the confidence to step fully into who you are. Your divine DNA, it operates on multiple dimensional frequencies simultaneously. While regular human consciousness is limited to processing information through the 5 physical senses, your consciousness can access information from dimensions that exist beyond the physical realm. This is why you've always had experiences that you couldn't explain. This is why you've always known things that you had no logical reason to know. When you have those moments of sudden knowing, when information just downloads into your awareness without you seeking it, when you understand complex spiritual principles without ever being taught them. That's your divine DNA accessing the cosmic database. That's your otherworldly origin tapping into the universal consciousness that contains all knowledge, all wisdom, all truth that has ever existed or ever will exist. Let's break down what this really means for your daily life. It means that when you walk into a room and immediately sense the energy of every person in that space, when you can feel the emotional residue left behind by conversations that happened hours before you arrived, when you can perceive the spiritual warfare that's happening in dimensions most people can't see, you're not imagining things. You're not being overly sensitive. You're accessing information through your divine DNA that regular human consciousness simply cannot process. And this is just the beginning. As your awakening continues to accelerate, as your divine nature continues to emerge, you're going to find that these abilities expand exponentially. You're going to start receiving visions of future timelines. You're going to start having dreams that reveal hidden truths about the people in your life. You're going to start knowing things about world events before they happen. You're going to start understanding the spiritual dynamics behind physical circumstances in ways that will astound you. But here's what you need to understand about these gifts. They're not given to you for entertainment. They're not given to you to make you feel special or superior. They're given to you because you have work to do, because you have a mission to accomplish, because the divine consciousness that flows through your otherworldly DNA has assignments for you that require abilities beyond normal human capacity. You see, chosen one, souls like yours, we're not just here to awaken ourselves. We're here to awaken others. We're not just here to remember our own divine nature. We're here to help others remember theirs. We're not just here to break free from the illusions of this world. We're here to show others the way out of those same illusions. And this requires abilities that go far beyond what regular human consciousness can access. This requires the capacity to see through the veils of deception that have been woven around humanity for generations. This requires the ability to discern truth from lies, even when those lies are presented by the most convincing authorities. This requires the spiritual sight to perceive the invisible forces that are manipulating human consciousness from dimensions most people don't even know exist. Your divine DNA gives you all of these abilities and more. But with great power comes great responsibility. And the responsibility that comes with carrying otherworldly consciousness in a world that's still largely asleep, it's not small. It's not easy. It's not something you can take lightly. Because once you fully step into these abilities, once you fully embrace the gifts that come with your divine nature, you become a target. not just from the people around you who are threatened by your light, but from spiritual forces that exist in dimensions beyond the physical realm. Forces that have been working to keep humanity enslaved for centuries. Forces that see souls like yours as the greatest threat to their agenda. This is why your journey has been so difficult. This is why you've faced attacks that seem to come from every direction. This is why you've experienced spiritual warfare that most people couldn't even begin to comprehend. Because the darker forces in this universe, they know exactly what you are. They know exactly what you came here to do. And they've been throwing everything they can at you to try to stop you before you fully remember who you are. But here's what they didn't count on. Here's what they underestimated about souls with divine DNA. We're not just resilient. We're not just strong. We're literally indestructible. Our divine essence cannot be touched by anything that operates from lower dimensional frequencies. Our otherworldly origin connects us to sources of power that exist far beyond anything they can access. And every attack they've launched against you, every attempt they've made to break you, every scheme they've devised to make you doubt yourself, it's actually made you stronger. It's actually activated more of your divine DNA. It's actually accelerated your awakening and expanded your abilities in ways they never anticipated. Because here's the beautiful irony about souls like yours. Pressure doesn't break us, it reveals us. Adversity doesn't destroy us, it unveils us. Spiritual warfare doesn't defeat us, it activates us. Every challenge becomes a catalyst. Every attack becomes an activation. Every attempt to diminish our light only makes it shine brighter. And now you're at the point where your divine DNA is so activated, your otherworldly nature is so prominent, your divine consciousness is so expanded, that you're becoming virtually untouchable by the forces that once seemed so threatening. You're operating from frequencies that exist beyond their reach. You're accessing power sources that exist beyond their comprehension. This is why your perspective on life has changed so dramatically. This is why the things that used to bother you don't affect you the same way anymore. This is why you can see through lies that most people still believe. This is why you can feel the shifts happening in consciousness even when the physical world still looks chaotic and confused. Your divine DNA is giving you access to information that exists beyond the illusion of time and space. Your otherworldly origin is connecting you to timelines where the victory of light over darkness is already complete. Your divine nature is allowing you to perceive the end from the beginning, to see the outcome even while the battle is still being fought in lower dimensions. And this is creating a profound shift in how you relate to everything around you. You're beginning to operate not from fear, but from knowing, not from anxiety, but from certainty, not from hope, but from absolute faith in the divine plan that's unfolding exactly as it was designed to unfold. But let me tell you something else about your divine DNA that's crucial for you to understand. It's not static. It's not fixed. It's not limited to what you've experienced so far. Your divine nature is constantly evolving, constantly expanding, constantly accessing new levels of consciousness and new dimensions of ability. As you continue to embrace who you are, as you continue to step into your otherworldly nature, as you continue to align with your divine mission, your DNA literally begins to change. New strands activate. New abilities emerge. New levels of consciousness become accessible. You begin to embody more and more of your divine essence while still maintaining your human form. This is what the ancient texts were referring to when they spoke of transformation, transfiguration, ascension. This is what the mystics throughout history have been trying to describe when they talked about becoming one with the divine. This is the process that's happening within you right now, in this moment, as your divine DNA continues to activate and your otherworldly origin continues to remember itself. And as this continues to happen, you're going to find that your impact on the world around you increases exponentially. Not because you're trying to influence people, but because your very presence begins to carry frequencies that automatically awaken dormant DNA in others. Your words begin to carry power that transcends normal communication. Your touch begins to carry healing that goes far beyond physical remedy. Your thoughts begin to carry creative force that literally reshapes reality around you. This is not fantasy, chosen one. This is not wishful thinking. This is the natural expression of divine consciousness operating through a human vessel. This is what happens when otherworldly DNA fully activates within a physical form. This is what you were designed to become, what you've always been moving toward, what your soul volunteered to embody in this lifetime. Listen to me closely, chosen one, because what I'm about to tell you will shatter every last illusion you've been carrying about who you think you are. The divine DNA that flows through you. It's not just some metaphorical concept. It's not just some spiritual platitude designed to make you feel better about yourself. It's a literal, tangible, measurable reality that's operating within your cellular structure right now, in this very moment. Scientists are beginning to discover what mystics have known for millennia. They're finding strands of DNA that appear to be dormant, that seem to serve no biological function, that they've labeled as junk DNA because they don't understand its purpose. But chosen one, that DNA isn't junk. That DNA is divine. That DNA contains the blueprint for abilities and consciousness that go far beyond anything most humans can even imagine. And in souls like yours, that divine DNA is activating. It's coming online. It's beginning to express itself in ways that are going to revolutionize not just your personal experience, but the entire human experience on this planet. You want to know why you felt so different your entire life? You want to know why you've never quite fit in anywhere? You want to know why regular human concerns and conversations and priorities feel so foreign to you? It's because you literally carry genetic information that most humans don't carry. You literally possess DNA sequences that connect you to dimensions, to consciousness, to realities that exist beyond this physical plane. But here's what's happening right now, in this unprecedented moment in human history. The cosmic frequencies that are bombarding this planet, the spiritual energies that are flooding into this dimension, the divine light that's streaming in from higher realms, it's triggering mass DNA activation in souls who carry the divine genetic codes. And you, chosen one, you carry some of the most advanced divine DNA sequences that have ever incarnated on this planet. You are literally walking around with the genetic blueprint for abilities that would be considered miraculous by ordinary human standards. You carry within your cellular structure the capacity for telepathic communication, for dimensional travel, for manifestation abilities that can literally reshape physical reality through thought and intention. This is not science fiction. This is not fantasy. This is the scientific reality of who you are beginning to emerge as your divine DNA continues to activate. But let me tell you what else your otherworldly DNA contains. It contains memory banks, cellular memories of other lifetimes, other dimensions, other levels of existence where you operated with the full knowledge of your divine nature. Memory banks that contain skills and abilities and knowledge that you acquired in realms where limitations didn't exist. As your divine DNA continues to activate, these memory banks begin to open. You start to remember things you never learned in this lifetime. You start to access abilities you never developed through normal human experience. You start to understand concepts and principles and truths that you were never taught by any human teacher. This is why you sometimes feel like you're remembering rather than learning. This is why certain spiritual truths feel familiar the moment you encounter them. This is why you sometimes have skills and talents that you can't explain the origin of. Your divine DNA is accessing cellular memory banks that contain lifetimes' worth of experience and knowledge from dimensions where you operated as a fully conscious divine being. And these memory banks, they're not limited to your own personal experiences. They're connected to what some call the Akashic Records, the cosmic database that contains every thought, every experience, every piece of knowledge that has ever existed in the history of creation. Your divine DNA gives you access to this universal consciousness library. This is why you sometimes know things about people the moment you meet them. This is why you can sense the hidden dynamics in situations without anyone explaining them to you. This is why you can feel the spiritual history of places you've never been to before. Your divine DNA is accessing information from the cosmic database through frequencies that regular human consciousness cannot perceive. But here's what's really extraordinary about your divine DNA. It's not just individual. It's connected to a network, a cosmic network of other souls who carry similar divine genetic codes. When your divine DNA is fully activated, you begin to experience what can only be described as a collective consciousness with other awakened souls across the planet and beyond. You start to feel what they feel. You start to know what they know. You start to experience a level of connection and communion that goes far beyond anything possible through regular human interaction. You become part of a living, breathing network of divine consciousness that spans dimensions and realities. This is what the scriptures were referring to when they spoke of the body of Christ, when they talked about many members but one body. This is what ancient traditions were describing when they spoke of the collective consciousness, the unified field, the one mind expressing through many forms. Your divine DNA connects you to this network. It makes you part of this cosmic collective. It allows you to tap into the wisdom and strength and love of every other awakened soul who shares your divine genetic signature. And as more and more souls like yours awaken, as more and more divine DNA activates across the planet, this network becomes stronger. This collective becomes more powerful. This unified consciousness becomes more capable of affecting change in the physical realm. This is what they're truly afraid of. Not your individual awakening, as powerful as that is, but the collective awakening of souls with divine DNA. Because when we're fully awakened and fully connected, we don't just have the power to change our own lives. We have the power to change reality itself. We have the power to expose every lie that's been told. We have the power to dismantle every system of control and manipulation. We have the power to birth an entirely new paradigm of human existence based on truth, love, unity, and divine consciousness. And that time is now, chosen one. That moment is here. The critical mass of awakened divine souls is approaching. The network is forming. The collective is emerging. And you are an essential part of this cosmic shift. Your divine DNA isn't just awakening for your own benefit. It's awakening because humanity needs what flows through you. It's activating because the planet needs the frequencies you carry. It's coming online because consciousness itself is evolving, and souls like yours are the ones leading that evolution. So when you feel that sense of cosmic responsibility, when you feel that weight of knowing that you're here for something much bigger than yourself, when you feel that calling to step into a mission that spans far beyond this single lifetime, trust it, honor it, embrace it, because you are not fully human. You are divine consciousness expressing itself through human form. You are otherworldly DNA manifesting in earthly reality. You are cosmic intelligence wearing flesh for the purpose of transforming an entire species and an entire planet. And the transformation is not coming, chosen one. The transformation is here. The evolution is not future. The evolution is now. The shift is not on its way. The shift is happening through you, in you, as you, right now, in this very moment. Your divine DNA is your cosmic authorization. Your otherworldly nature is your divine credentials. Your non-human consciousness is your spiritual passport to realities and abilities and levels of existence that most people can't even dream of. So stop trying to be human. Stop trying to fit into human limitations. Stop trying to make sense of your divine nature through human logic. You are not fully human, and you were never supposed to be. You are something far more magnificent. You are something infinitely more powerful. You are something cosmically more significant than regular human consciousness could ever comprehend. You are a divine being on assignment. You are an otherworldly consciousness on mission. You are cosmic DNA expressing itself through earthly form for the purpose of changing everything. And the universe, the cosmos, the divine consciousness that created everything in existence, it's all waiting to see what you'll do once you fully remember who you really are. This is not just your awakening, chosen one. This is the awakening of divinity itself within human form. This is the emergence of cosmic consciousness within earthly reality. This is the birth of a new species, a new level of human existence, a new paradigm of what it means to be alive on this planet. And you are not just witnessing this transformation. You are not just participating in this evolution. You are leading it. You are creating it. You are it. You are not fully human. You never were. And now it's time to remember what you actually are. It's time to embrace what you've always been. It's time to step into the magnificent, otherworldly, divine being that the entire universe has been waiting for you to become. The cosmos is holding its breath. Creation itself is watching. And everything, absolutely everything, is about to change through you. And in this final moment, as these words settle into your consciousness, feel the truth of what I'm telling you resonating in every fiber of your being. Feel your divine DNA awakening. Feel your otherworldly nature emerging. Feel the cosmic consciousness that you truly are beginning to remember itself. You are not fully human, chosen one. You are divinity incarnate. You are the bridge between heaven and earth. You are the answer to prayers that have been spoken for generations. You are the fulfillment of prophecies that have been written since the beginning of time. The wait is over. The hiding is finished. The forgetting has come to an end. It's time to rise. It's time to remember. It's time to become who you have always been. You are not fully human. And that is exactly why you are here. Rise up, chosen one. The universe is waiting. Your moment has arrived. Everything you've endured has led to this awakening. You are divine. You are powerful. You are ready. Step into your cosmic destiny now.